Welcome back to another Behind the Pads Season 2, Episode 2. And today I'm breaking down a beat that I made a few weeks back and just shot a video for that will be at the end of this video. Yeah, it was using a sample that I found off of TrackLib, and it goes a little bit like this. And I just took that chop and I split it up into... And the beauty of that now, as you know with the chop, is you can just play it whatever way you want. And I chopped it up in kind of this like MF Doom feel. At least I feel it's in that vein with the way the sample plays out, but it's like... And the cool thing there is, like, there's a tom on the sample, and you can kind of use it as a drum fill. So you get that idea where it's like you can kind of start playing around with the actual flip itself, and it kind of turned into this cool MF Doom vibe. So I will play it out here like this. Take that metronome off. And with this sample, I kind of went in and I really put effects on it. Like, I'll shut everything off real quick. And here we go. I'll play it back. Okay, so now I added Volcom. And I use this preset called Gentle Stereo Wow, and I kind of mess with it a little bit, but generally leave it pretty much the way it comes up because it adds this cool sort of widening effect, almost like a chorus in a way. So we have that now, and then RC20, you'll see, I turn it on. I'm trying to turn it on. There it is. So you can see the further, like, just further lo-fiing it and making it sound almost worse in the sonic sense. And then I have my compressor and perform effects. The compressor is there. As a sidechain. So I'm getting the sidechain from the actual drum kit, which I'll move to next. And I use a kit again from Addictive Drums by XLN. I love this one kit specifically that's like, it's called a Fairfax kit, and the kick, snare, hat combo is so tight and dry when you pull the room out of it. And I mean, I do still have, actually I have more room than I thought that was in there, but not much being sent to it from the kick, snare, and hat. But I'm going to move to the keys here, and it's odd because when I'm using a plugin like Addictive, I like to play the drums on the keyboard versus on the pads. And then if I do something sample based with actual kick drum samples, hats, you know, percussive things that are laid out as samples that I trigger to actually like play, I'll do it like that. But when I'm using a plugin and it's solely on one pad in keyboard mode, I like to just switch it over to the keyboard. So, okay, dope. Now that I have Addictive Drums open, I'll show you a bit of the breakdown of how I actually got to the drum groove. But the thing I really like about it is that it almost feels like I'm playing a real kit. And I know obviously you'll never get that exact feel of sitting behind a drum kit, but there's something about the dynamics within these samples. It's
like they're hyper sampled, and
for every level of velocity, there's a different sample that it's triggering, and you can almost hear the changes in it, and has it, I don't know, there's a sound to it, you know, even with every, like the cymbals. Like, you don't get that with just like samples that you bring in and keep the velocity open, you know, it's not the same. So let's go like this pattern, just start a new pattern, and I'll play out the drum groove to what I have with that sample. So let's unmute the sample, drums, and go like this. idea there where it's like you can almost hear it. It feels like a real drum kit, and I love that, like, you know. And this isn't even a hat that I'm using. It's like the side of the snare or something, you know, but dope. Okay, so that's the drum groove. And then, so with the bass, this time I used the native plugin Monark, and I haven't really dove too much into that one, but I'm finding a lot of super dope bass sounds on it. Super dope bass sounds. So let's make sure I got pretty simple bass line in this one. Let's hear it out. In the actual final track there with the way the drums came in. Maybe I'll re-export eventually. So, boom, bass. Like this. It's just got some cool, it's like funky. It's got, you know, the analog feel to it. And honestly, like on this track, I didn't put anything, any compression or anything. I keep, like I said, less is more in my mixes lately, especially. I've been trying to just pull it back with the amount of things I'm adding and just see if I can strip the track back enough to just leave what's there in the sample and, you know, just make something out of that and not worry too much about oversaucing. So, like I said, super minimal, not a lot of stuff. I use the percussion plugin from the Native Instruments release, Cuba, and the bongos. I have my congas at the studio, haven't brought them home yet, and it's just nice to be able to access some sounds like this and be able to actually, I know it's not the real thing, but you make do with what you got. And the fact that we have some amazing, I like to say hyper sampled, you know, they're so intricately sampled, these sounds, that I feel like, yeah, there's, you know, they're definitely usable and how you use them within the mix as well, you know, so super simple there. But the only other last elements I added to it were the laser effect, which is from a Kalen Ellis sample pack he put out a few months back. And then this just some birds chirping outside from the Atmosphere pack from Kareem. So, in the end, like I said, like usual, the tracks turn out to be more on the simple side, especially lately with me. I'm trying to just make the process smoother, and I also want the music to kind of feel that way as well, where it's digestible. You know, I still obviously want to challenge the listener and hope that my samples do in the way I flip them, but it doesn't need to be so crazy layered, you know. I definitely want to stress that, because I think a lot of people put the pressure on to keep adding more and more and more. I feel like I'm going to find myself repeating this very often in my videos, and it's almost to repeat it for myself, but I think that you shouldn't oversauce. Don't oversauce. So, last but not least, I just threw a Wolf compressor on the master, and I love, again, there's a preset that I kind of mess around with a little bit, but 2-bus glue, it's like a parallel bus compressor, and it just, you know, it feels like it glues my mix together. So, as usual, I want to try to keep these super short, concise, and to the point. If you got questions, ask them below. That's it. Perfect. My friends, All the links are below to the gear I use, to the plugins I use. Much love, y'all. Until next time, peace.
You feel that, son?